Good morning, everybody. This is Steve Fletcher with a trumpet for my people. Today is June 23rd, 2024. And I want to talk about where we are today and take a look at all of this information we have been following as we have been watching June 23rd through June 24th. The first reason we are watching this is because the Revelation 12 sign revealed Jupiter as the man-child. Very important part of Revelation 12, 1 and 2 is Jupiter being revealed as the man-child, as Jupiter was within Virgo for 10 months during this birth sign that took place on September 23rd, 2017. The second part of Revelation 12 shows the dragon wanting to devour the child, and this was December 21st, 2020, the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction, the Great Conjunction. Saturn, the dragon, known as Kronos, who devours the children, Jupiter being the child, the man-child revealed to us in Revelation chapter 12. This was a sign that kicked off a 1,260-day time period where the woman fled into the wilderness, where she would be fed for 1,260 days. Exactly on the 1,260th day was the Devil Comet closest to Earth, June 2nd, 2024. The Devil Comet closest to Earth, as Satan is going to be thrown out very soon into the Earth. This Devil Comet closest to Earth represents this fulfillment. And then we have a war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and this represents the 21-day war in heaven shown to us in the book of Daniel. 21-day war in heaven. That brings us to where we are now, June 23rd. June 23rd being Pentecost on the Orthodox calendar, and also based on the full moon of June 22nd being Sivan 14 at the full moon of June 22nd, then we can know that June 23rd is Sivan 15. Now we are watching Sivan 15 as Exodus 19:1 says, in the third month when the children of Israel were gone forth out of the land of Egypt, the same day came they into the wilderness of Sinai. And so as Israel left Egypt in the first month, on the 15th day, the day after Passover, they left Egypt. Exodus 19:1 shows that in the third month, when the children of Israel were gone forth out of the land of Egypt, the same day. So on Sivan 15, they came into the wilderness of Sinai. That is where we are today. Today is Sivan 15. Yesterday in Israel, June 22nd at 4 a.m. in the morning, was the full moon of Israel. That is Sivan 14. The Hebrew calendar already shows June 22nd being the 16th of Sivan. That is not correct. We can know based on the full moon. The full moon is our best guide. It's our true guide. It is what God has given to us in the heavens to understand where we are. The sun, moon, and stars were given for signs and seasons. And so June 22nd being the full moon is the 14th of Sivan, making today, June 23rd, the true 15th day of Sivan. This is where we are today. Sivan 15, in the third month, when the children of Israel were gone forth out of the land of Egypt, the same day came they into the wilderness of Sinai. If we continue reading on in Exodus chapter 19, we're going to see that God told Israel to prepare for the third day from Sivan 15. Prepare for the third day, because on the third day I will come down to the people out of the mountain. Exodus 19:10 and 11. The Lord said to Moses, "Go to the people and consecrate them today and tomorrow, and let them wash their garments, and be ready for the third day. For on the third day the Lord will come down on Mount Sinai in the sight of all the people. And it came to pass on the third day in the morning that there were thunders and lightnings and a thick cloud upon the mount, and the voice of the trumpet exceeding loud, so that all the people that was in the camp trembled. And Moses brought forth the people out of the camp to meet with God, and they stood at the nether part of the mount. And Mount Sinai was altogether on a smoke, because the Lord descended upon it in fire, and the smoke thereof ascended as the smoke of a furnace, and the whole mount quaked greatly. And when the voice of the trumpet sounded long, and waxed louder and louder, Moses spake, and God answered him by a voice. So we have revealed in Exodus chapter 19 the 15th day of Sivan. This is where we are today. This is the 15th day of Sivan, June 23rd. Then it is revealed that they are to wait for the third day, and on the third day God will come down out of the mountain and reveal himself to the people. It was on the third day, Sivan 18, the third day from Sivan 15, Sivan 18, that the trumpet of God sounded. The trumpet of God sounded long on the third day from Sivan 15, Sivan 18. So this is where we are today on June 23rd, 2024. The first thing we need to understand is the three eclipses over the Americas. August 21st, 2017. The next eclipse over the United States, April 8th, 2024. And the middle day of these two eclipses was another eclipse over South America, December 14th, 2020. Three eclipses, and we have our middle day. Then on this week of December 14th, we had three events that took place. The first event was in the United Kingdom on December 8th. The first man to get the COVID shot in the UK is named William Shakespeare. The second person, but the first man, William Shakespeare. Okay, 1,290 days from this brings us to the summer solstice and the Midsummer Night's Dream of William Shakespeare. Okay, you see how this is all playing out as a stage for the world to watch. Do you want to understand William Shakespeare, 1,290 days, his Midsummer Night's Dream, the summer solstice, 1,290 days. The next event that happened was December 11th, 2020, when FDA approves the first COVID-19 vaccine for Pfizer. And this happened on December 11th. And 1,290 days from there is June 23rd, 2024. This is where we are today. But the middle day between the two eclipses was the big day, December 14th. And on this day, the first jab took place in the United States, December 14th, 2020. On the middle day between the two eclipses, and the sign being the United States. In the United States, the first jab was December 14th. And so if we go to December 14th and the first jab, and we look at Daniel 12:11, and from the time that the daily sacrifice shall be taken away, and the abomination that makes desolate is set up, there shall be 1,290 days. The abomination being set up. Where is the abomination being set up? In the middle of the week. This is the week, and here's the middle of the week. December 14th is also the middle of Hanukkah. This was the sign, the midweek Hanukkah sign, the middle of the week. Plus we have these incredible signs to confirm to us that this is the middle of the week. The middle of the week plus the middle of the week of Hanukkah. And in the middle of the week, the abomination is set up. 1,290 days. And from this day, the middle eclipse, 1,290 days, is June 26, 2024. 3 more days. Prepare for the third day. Sivan 18, the third day. So I want to share with you a comment that I pinned that came across my most recent video, Climate Clock 624, my most recent video. And I want to share this comment with you, which goes along with what I am saying about the third day. Steve, I seriously think that the start date of the 1290 count is the date of the first vax in the USA, which, as you know, is the 14th of December, 2020. He wrote 2024, but it was 2020. Why do I say this? Because the 14th of December 2020 is exactly in the middle between the 2 solar eclipses that went over the USA, which were 6 years, 6 months, 6 weeks, and 6 days apart. It is like 2 spotlights shining to the date exactly in the middle between them, a huge sign. Daniel mentions time, times, and half a time in 2 different verses. But he uses different Hebrew words that for some reason were translated to the same English words. The first is mentioned in Daniel 7:25 and the second in Daniel 12:7. The word time is translated from the Hebrew word Eden in Daniel 7:25 and from the Hebrew word moed in Daniel 12:7. They are not the same words at all, but in our English Bibles they were translated as the words time and times. Daniel 7:25 refers to 3.5 years, but Daniel 12:7 correctly translated is this: And I heard the man clothed in linen, which was upon the waters of the river, when he held up his right hand and his left hand unto heaven, and swear by him that liveth forever, that it shall be for an appointed season, and in the middle, when he shall accomplish to scatter the power of the holy people, all these things will be finished. It does not refer to a 3.5 year period at all, but to an event exactly in the middle of a specific season. Daniel 9:27 shows us that it is heavenly signs. The word covenant in Daniel 9:27 correctly translated is divine ordinance with signs. Daniel 9:27, and he shall confirm the divine ordinance with signs with many for 1 week. And in the midst of the week, he shall cause the sacrifice and the oblation to cease. And for the overspreading of abominations, he shall make it desolate even until the consummation, and that determined shall be poured upon the desolate. Daniel is specifically referring to the 2 solar eclipses that were given to us as a divine sign, and then he specifically points to the middle of this time, which is when the abomination was given. Yes, the abomination that forces Jesus out of the body temple and which leaves the body temple desolate. The abomination of desolation, the displacement of Yeshua, means that the sacrifice that Jesus made in the place of the daily sacrifices that the Israelites had to do is removed. Once the daily sacrifice is removed, the sin of the man is revealed, no longer forgiven, which leads to death. This is why I think the 1290 count must be from the 14th of December 2020, which brings us to the 26th of June 2024. And so we have, in 2 different ways from the book of Daniel, the understanding of in the middle of the week, the abomination will be set up. In the middle of the week, in the middle of the season, we have the season here, and we have the middle of the season, and we have the week of Hanukkah, which in the middle of the week of Hanukkah was the same day, December 14th, confirmed by the total solar eclipse over South America. And it was on this day that the full and complete abomination was set up on December 14th, 2020. And so we have 3 days that we have been watching up until now. 2 days we have been watching. June 20th, 1290 days from the first vaccination. June 23rd, which is 1,290 days from the approval of the vaccine. But now we have December 14th, the first vaccine, 1,290 days, brings us to June 26th, 2024. And this is what is shown to us in Exodus chapter 19. From the 15th day of Sivan, prepare for the third day. And this is where we are. June 23rd is Sivan 15. And now we prepare for the third day. And this is what we have, June 26th. So as we were watching June 22nd, June 23rd through June 24th, based on the full moon of June 22nd, I knew that this could not be the day of the rapture, June 22nd. We were waiting for the end of June 22nd, the end of the full moon day, the 14th day of Sivan. So then we have to wait for June 23rd, the 15th day of Sivan, and that brings us to the beginning of our timeline of Exodus chapter 19 in the third month on the 15th day. Now we wait for the third day. It came to pass on the third day in the morning that there were thunders and lightnings and a thick cloud upon the mount, and the voice of the trumpet exceeding loud, so that all the people that was in the camp trembled. And Moses brought forth the people out of the camp to meet with God, and they stood at the nether part of the mount. And Mount Sinai was altogether on a smoke, because the Lord descended upon it in fire, and the smoke thereof ascended as the smoke of a furnace, and the whole mount quaked greatly. And when the voice of the trumpet sounded long and waxed louder and louder, Moses spake, and God answered him by a voice. This is where all of these signs are pointing to. We are here. We have arrived. June 20th, June 23rd, and the third day is June 26, 2024. 1,290 days from the middle eclipse. 1,290 days from the first vaccination in the United States. From the time that the daily sacrifice shall be taken away, and the abomination that makes desolate is set up, there shall be 1,290 days. Daniel 12:11. Daniel 12:11. In between these two eclipses over the United States, there are 2,422 days. The middle day is 1,211 days. 2,422 days from the first American eclipse to the final American eclipse. And in between those two eclipses, the middle day in between, where there was another eclipse and the first vaccination over the United States, 1,211 days. Daniel 12:11. From the time that the daily sacrifice shall be taken away, and the abomination is set up, 1,290 days. June 26th, 2024. Prepare for the third day. I pray you are blessed. This is Steve Fletcher with a trumpet for my people, the sign of his coming revealed.